So I have never seen Donald Trump this unapologetic and funny in my life, which is saying a lot because that is like one of his core things. This all comes from the same press conference where I want to show you my 4 favorite clips, and I call the first one the specimen.
The White House, including Vice President J.D. Vance. I think J.D. is J.D. here? Where's J.D.? J.D. He's lost weight. He got a little thinner, and I'm looking for a heavy set gentleman, and now I find a perfect looking specimen. He's doing a great job.
You can tell that this is a second-term president. He has 0 craps left to give. He doesn't have to win another election again in his life. He's never going to run for something again. He's gone as high as he can go. He served for 2 terms. It is what it is. So he can just do whatever he wants now, which is so great, probably so liberating for him. For as much as Donald Trump doesn't care what other people think, there are certain political things that he has to do in order to get re-election. He did it in 2016. Obviously, throughout 2020 to 2024, he had to act at least a certain sort of way, and he doesn't have to do that at all anymore. I mean, he probably had like 5% of that in him before, where he was trying to hold back. He's got 0% in him now. That's why, for example, he is actually attacking Iran. It's something very brave. I think he knows most Americans are going to be trepidatious about it, but he looks at it and says, I don't care. I'm going to do what I think's right. I will say, for some of the hesitations I have towards J.D. Vance, he has gotten in shape. It's undeniable. I do wonder if it's a direct result of clavicular saying that he would vote for Gavin Newsom over J.D. Vance because Gavin Newsom is more handsome. If you don't remember, that happened a few months ago. Everyone was looking at clavicular like he was crazy. He's always been crazy. I mean, he smashes his face with a hammer after all. All the Groypers came out and said that J.D. Vance was a fatso. Again, I've got my policy differences with J.D. Vance, but he is definitely not a fatso. All right, on to clip 2 now. As I'm sure you know, millions of people this past weekend marched in the No Kings protest, and Trump responded to them.
They call me king now, do you believe it? No king. I'm such a king, I can't get a ballroom approved. It's pretty amazing, right? I'm a king. If I was a king, we'd be doing a lot more. I'm doing a lot, but I could be doing a lot more if I was a king.
So this is actually a really great point. Democrats have always wanted it both ways with Donald Trump. On one hand, they say that Trump is a dictator, that he's a king. And then on the other hand, they say that he can't pass his agenda and that he has lied to his supporters. It's like, which is it, guys? You cannot have both. If he was a king, his agenda would have been complete on day one because when you're the king, you can have unilateral authority to do whatever you want. But he's not a king. And so he couldn't do that on day one. The only thing keeping him now from his agenda is Congress, because as it turns out, in an absolute monarchy, there is no Congress. Therefore, he cannot be a king. In clip 3, guys, Trump was asked about his big speech, what it would be on. This happened last night. He talked about Iran. Here is what he said.
Tonight I'm making a little speech at 9 o'clock, and basically I'm going to tell everybody how great I am. What a great job I've done. What a phenomenal job. What a phenomenal job I've done.
I love it. I love it. He literally does an impersonation of himself. And you can say, guys, that you disagree with his policy. I understand that there's people out there who aren't going to like certain things. I don't agree with Trump on everything, but I don't know how you can say that he's not authentic and likable. He clearly is. He's making fun of himself in that press conference. Now, the best part of this entire thing by far was with Erica Kirk. Trump started kind of scanning through the room, looking around who was here, and he locked eyes with Erica Kirk and gave her some very blunt advice.
A thing called Happy Easter. Do we have that? Everyone happy? Anybody that doesn't want, hello, darling. Wow, this is a good table. I like that table. You're doing well, right? Okay. I think you should sue him, but, you know. I told her, you ought to sue somebody. They're so jealous of Erica. I said, you ought to sue their... I can say it. You're not allowed to say this. You have to be nicer. Sue their ass off.
Let's go. Yes. We love Trump. We love him. And clearly he's on the side of Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk, not on the side of people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. We do not like Candace Owens, obviously. Candace Owens came out this week with a new theory. By the way, we've gone through so many. The list just gets longer and longer. I can't even repeat all of them because there's been too many between Egypt and Mormons. But the new theory is that it was the hospital staff now that was in on it. The hospital staff that attended to Charlie Kirk Take a look.
All of these turning point people, Frank Turek is drenched in blood. To this day, I have never had even one eyewitness at Timpanogos who witnessed that whole scene reach out to us. Whereas we had a ton of people that were reaching out about the other hospital, insisting Charlie was at the other hospital, Utah Valley, and then we confirmed that he had a file there. What is going on? It's almost like Timpanogos was a staging place, and I'm going to tell you some really interesting information about the people who were working at Timpanogos. On top of that, at long last, I was racking my brain. What is Bibi Netanyahu's connection to Utah? Does he have a connection to Utah? And OMG, people, he has a very big, lifelong connection to Utah, you could say.
As I've said many times on the show, I live here where Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So I actually find this accusation, it's so funny. I love it when Candace Owens talks about specific things in Orem, Utah, because I grew up here in Orem, Utah. Timpanogos Hospital, by the way, you can't even say Timpanogos right. It's not Timpanogos, bro. Like, just do 1 ounce of research, please. You've got millions of people watching, and yet you can't even say things like kerfluffle or architecture or Timpanogos, for example. Timpanogos Hospital is the hospital I went to growing up. Like, I've been there like a bajillion times. My pediatrician was there. It's also the hospital my daughter was born in about a year ago. So I've spent a lot of times not sleeping in that hospital. Spent a lot of time there. I know it well. And so to hear these accusations, so funny to me. That Bibi Netanyahu has connections here, that Timpanogos was there to stage things. So here's my invitation to Candace. I don't think I've ever said this outright. Come here. Come to Orem. She's never been here before. At least not in the last, 6 months since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Just come to Orem. Like, I grew up here. I know it well. I'll tour you around. I'll show you how ridiculous and dishonest you've been. But there's, of course, a reason why she has not taken anybody up on that. I think she's been offered to do it many times. And the reason why is because she knows that she's lying. She has these sources, and she wants them to be kind of adjacent to what's happening here in Orem, so that when people prove that they're liars, she can say, oh, they were liars. That's on them. But if she comes in person and then we debunk her there, she's screwed. I mean, her entire shtick is up. She knows already what she's saying is a lie, and so she does not want to be disproven. That's why she's never come to Orem, Utah. I think she's got the money to do it. You would think in an investigation about the murder of someone, you would go to the crime scene. She's never done it. Another person, of course, who's been incredibly dishonest on all of this is Megyn Kelly. She had a bizarre part of her show this week where she talked about how she believes it was Tyler Robinson who shot Charlie, but she's cool with Candace Owens doing her investigation anyway.
From the beginning, I've been open to other questions about whether that's true, whether that's right. The police have the right guy. I believe they do. And also whether anybody else might have played a role in it somehow. Okay. And I think that piece of it, Candace Owens has been asking that question, and she's taking a hard look at the investigation, putting aside the stuff with Erica. I've told you a million times how I feel about that. I don't agree with her on Erica Kirk. I think we all be better off if Candace used her considerable investigative skills to focus on other things. But her questions about this investigation are fair game.
Notice there, she specifically steers clear of mentioning Erica. Does not bring it up because she knows it is indefensible. She completely waters down what Candace is doing because that's the only way she can justify herself. To make it really simple and just say, oh, someone asking questions is fine. Because no one can argue with that. Of course, asking questions is fine. Of course, though, that's not what Candace Owens is doing. She has straw-manned her own argument, essentially, so that nobody can actually argue with what she actually believes. And it is so embarrassing. At the end of the day, that's really what it is. Part of the beauty of independent podcasting is you get to say whatever the heck you want. That's why I have a degree in journalism. There's a reason I didn't go to my local news outlet and get a job. It's because I wouldn't be able to say the things that I say to you guys. There's a reason why I'm not on Fox News every day. I cannot say the things I want to say on Fox News. And Megyn Kelly has made the argument that she did the same thing. She obviously is a product of the mainstream media, and she went independent, just like Tucker Carlson and all these other people. And the reason why they say, first off, there's more money in it, of course. But the other reason is they want to say whatever they want, which is a super good thing to want. But it's so embarrassing to see people like Megyn Kelly, who clearly are controlled still, who went into independent media to be independent and are anything but. She can't say what she actually thinks because she has audience capture. As far as I'm concerned, I think she's as controlled as she was when she was working for the mainstream media. There are less than 2 weeks left until taxes are due, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking there's no time to do that. Fortunately, my partner, Quick Tax America, makes it so easy for you. They will do all the work for you, and it is only $76, no matter how complicated your federal taxes are. That's right, just $76 for every federal tax return that you have. They do all the work. All you have to do is upload your files, answer a few basic questions, and schedule a 15-minute finish your return call with a tax professional. They do all the rest. You can hand it to them and not worry. That's what I do every single year. They do my taxes every year. They're fantastic. Go check them out at quicktaxamerica.com.